Chaos will always just bring more chaos. I remember sitting in a Chinese restaurant with my mom saying exactly what was going to happen when Trump took office and the exact time frame that if he enacted the tariffs and he did what I figured he was going to do as it relates to foreign policy would create shakeups in the world, which would cause what's happening in the stock market. And there was a gentleman that overheard me because I'm super fucking loud. And he was like, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Trump's going to save the economy. Now, I'm not saying in the long run, a lot of this stuff might play out and be pretty, create some type of strength, especially if the tariff piece is negotiating tactics, which a lot of the times that's what he would probably do for negotiation. With the tariffs, though, the idea is to utilize them to strengthen the US dollar as a reserve currency. It's designed to hopefully bring more workers and manufacturing back to the country and strengthen it. So I don't think those are logical goals that the Americans should want, but I think the way in which Trump goes about doing it and the way in which he goes about it can seem chaotic. And with that chaos, a lot of people become skeptical of certain things that they weren't expecting, or maybe they didn't read into what he was going to plan to do, or whatever the case is. And because of that, that causes a lot of this emotion in the market. But this morning, as I try to do most days, not always consistently watch Bloomberg Live, and they had essentially said that we were in a bear market. Now, do I think that consumer strength could bring us out of that bear market? Of course, but I do think that while the economy is confused on specifically what is happening and not sure because it's chaotic, and when you create chaos, it creates uncertainty, and when there is uncertainty, people are very emotional about their specific money. I don't really think about it in that capacity. I just invest in the things I'm going to invest. I keep working on it. I relook at it. I change my positions on a regular basis. And if you go to my broadcast channel, I talk a lot about that in that broadcast channel here on Instagram, or if you're watching this on a different app, on my Instagram channel at Age of Jeremy. So I think a rule of thumb for a plan is just to kind of stick with it. If you stay in your line, and go through that plan, then you'll be more successful. A lot of the times when we get out of line, we are not as successful. And I don't mean get out of line like obedience. I mean, if you're standing in a grocery store, if you ever had that experience where you're standing in a line, you see the other line go shorter, so you move over, and then something happens to that line and you should have stayed in the original line. It's kind of like a symbol for sticking with your plan, right? And so it's really important that you stick to your goals and to your plans. And so don't let fear kind of get you out of a marketplace or to deviate from what you know is going to be the future.